The blogger known as Mosul I kept his identity a secret as he documented life in Mosul, Iraq under Islamic State rule. Now, he has revealed his identity in an interview with the Associated Press. December 7, the historian carried secrets too heavy for one man to bear. He packed his bag with his most treasured possessions before going to bed, the 1 terabyte hard drive with his evidence against the Islamic State group, an orange notebook half filled with notes on Ottoman history, and, a keepsake, the first book from Amazon delivered to Mosul. He passed the night in despair, imagining all the ways he could die, and the moment he would leave his mother and his city. He had spent nearly his entire life in this home, with his 5 brothers and 5 sisters. He woke his mother in her bedroom on the ground floor. "I am leaving," he said. "Where?" she asked. "I am leaving," was all he could say. He couldn't endanger her by telling her anything more. In truth, since the IS had invaded his city, had lived a life about which she was totally unaware. He felt her eyes on the back of his neck, and headed to the waiting Chevrolet. He didn't look back. Caption: Close for nearly 2 years, had wandered the streets of occupied Mosul, chatting with shopkeepers and Islamic State fighters, visiting friends who worked at the hospital, swapping scraps of information. He grew out his hair and his beard and wore the shortened trousers required by IS. He forced himself to witness the beheadings and deaths by stoning, so he could hear the killers call out the names of the condemned and their supposed crimes. He wasn't a spy, he was an undercover historian and blogger. As IS turned the Iraqi city he loved into a fundamentalist bastion, he decided he would show the world how the extremists had distorted its true nature, how they were trying to rewrite the past and forge a brutal Sunni-only future for a city that had once welcomed many faiths. He knew that if he was caught he too would be killed. "I am writing this for the history, because I know this will end. People will return, life will go back to normal," is how he explained the blog that was his conduit to the citizens of Mosul and the world beyond. After many years, there will be people who will study what happened. The city deserves to have something written to defend the city and tell the truth, because they say that when the war begins, the first victim is the truth. He called himself Mosul I. He made a promise to himself in those first few days: trust no one, document everything. Neither family, friends, nor the Islamic State group could identify him. His readership grew by the thousands every month. And now, he was running for his life. But it would mean passing through one Islamic State checkpoint after another, on the odds that the extremists wouldn't stop him, wouldn't find the hard drive that contained evidence of his atrocities, the names of its collaborators and fighters, and all the evidence that its bearer was the man they'd been trying to silence since they first swept in. The weight of months and years of anonymity were crushing him.